This idea couldn't be easier. You know, sometimes you just need a lesson at the drop of a hat without any planning, without any issues. This is that lesson. So I'm not actually in my studio today. I'm at home because I'm making signs for my wedding, which is in 1 month's time. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity because time is a problem in schools and we all know that how little time we have. And so I wanted to give you a lesson today that is so unbelievably simple. There's no need to prep, there's no need to plan, you can just do it straight away. All you need is a pencil and a ruler and a piece of paper. But you're still teaching pupils some really key skills. You're going to get some really great results. And it's a perfect activity for those pupils who are lacking confidence. First of all, draw yourself a line across the middle of the page. This is called the horizon line. Below the horizon line and to the side, draw a square or a tall rectangle. Then, on the right hand side of the horizon line, put a dot or an X. This is called a vanishing point. Draw lines from the 3 closest corners of your square to the vanishing point. There's only one vanishing point on this drawing. That's why it's called 1-point perspective. If we had 2, then it would be called 2-point perspective. Continue the lines from the vanishing point to the bottom 2 corners of the square and off the page. This will produce the train tracks. Inside the square, draw yourself a rectangle and this will be the front window, and stick a couple of circles in there for the lights. It's not a particularly detailed or sophisticated drawing, but that doesn't matter. It's not about how good it is, it's about whether or not it works. Draw a couple of lines from the side of the square to the vanishing point. It always goes back to the vanishing point, and then chop these up with some vertical lines, and these will produce the side windows to your train. Your pupils might find this a bit tricky, but it doesn't really matter. The drawing will still look really good and they'll get there in the end. Now here's a few more tricks to draw perspective. You want there to be a sense of depth in the picture, and the way you do that is by the power of big, medium and small. By that I mean every object that you put in your picture, you want to have a big one, a medium one and a small one. The small ones are far away, the big ones are close up. So for instance, with these mountains, we're going to have a big, medium, small mountain, and we're also going to have big, medium and small clouds. And just watch how it creates that perspective. And if you want to make it look like the train's going really fast, just throw in a few more lines on the side. Oh, and here's a top tip for you. If you want to make it look like there's glass in the windows, you need to draw 2 diagonal lines, one small and one big. Now what's great about this lesson is that once they've done their drawing, they can decorate their picture, and we all know how much people love to decorate their drawings, and no matter what they do to it, it's still going to look 3D, it's still going to look realistic, it's still going to look like it's zooming off the page because they've got that visual trick there. And they'll be able to take that idea, that little trick, and experiment with it and put it into other drawings and really play with the idea of depth and distance and foreground and background, and that's really going to help them with their confidence and their drawing skills. Now the second way of doing it is pretty much the same, except this time your horizon line is going to be a lot lower down. This means you'll have less land and more sky. Draw your square, make it a little bit bigger this time so that it sits directly on the horizon line. Shove in a vanishing point and draw a line from the top corner straight to it. The rest of the drawing is pretty much like the first one, but what you'll notice is that the perspective of the person looking at the train has changed. And if you want to make it even more interesting, shove some objects at the front of the picture. I've put some boulders down at the bottom of the page. Oh, and don't forget those speed lines. They really make a difference. Now if you look up in that corner there, you're going to see a link to all my other art tutorials, and if subscribing to YouTube is your kind of thing, then click down on my big face there and that will subscribe you to my channel. And I hope it's worked out well for you, and I never know how to end these things.